The vast emptiness of Hestia's belt stretched endlessly, a graveyard of forgotten ships and shattered dreams. Amid drifting debris, Jace Marlowe's gloved hands tapped rhythmically against his worn spanner, the cold metal echoing faintly in his helmet's columns. His eyes flicked to a peculiar shape amidst the rubble, an ancient starfighter, drifting silently, its hull etched with the unmistakable insignia of the legendary Etherean Order. The battered relic gleamed faintly against the void, its worn paint alive with subtle pulses of light, like a heartbeat long forgotten. Around him, salvager drones hovered, their mechanical arms poised to vaporize any unauthorized salvage. Jace's breath caught, muscles tense but steady. The eerie calm of the scene contrasted with his pounding pulse. Here lay a myth made real. As the fighter's hatch began to unlatch with a quiet hiss, lights glowing softly in invitation, the air seemed to thicken. This was no ordinary find. It was a whisper from the stars themselves, calling him to a fate beyond the scattered metal and cosmic dust. Suddenly, the fighter's dormant core sparked to life. A hollow emitter flared with spectral blue light, projecting the translucent form of a helm and shoulders, an ethereal guardian from an age long lost. The calm, measured voice resonated clearly through Jace's comms. Pilot detected. Please raise your hand. Behind him, salvager drones pivoted sharply, engines charging with ominous intent. Time slowed. Jace's heart hammered fiercely in his chest. The stark contrast of the AI's gentle invitation against the drone's lethal readiness weighed heavily. Fingers trembling, he lifted his hand slowly, gloved and scarred from countless scrapes. The fighter hummed softly, hydraulics moving smoothly as the boarding ramp extended toward him. The moment balanced between destruction and destiny. The AI's voice softened. "Welcome, Pilot Marlowe." In that instant, every doubt faded. The silent void around him transformed into a crucible of fate, and Jace realized he was no longer alone in the abyss. As the boarding ramp settled with a gentle thud, Jace felt the weight of unseen eyes upon him, not of enemies, but of a legacy waiting to be reclaimed. The spectral helm's light bathed his face, illuminating a path forward. In that quiet, charged moment, he understood. This was no simple salvage mission. It was a summons to awaken an ancient power, a call woven through stardust and time. The darkest reaches of space, long silent and cold, now depended on his courage. He wasn't just a scavenger anymore. He was chosen, marked by the stars to pilot a legend reborn. With a deep breath steadying his nerves, Jace stepped forward into the unknown. 2478 CE marked the Great Schism, when Central Command severed all communications under the guise of strategic consolidation. Archivum Concordia, Volume 3. Fringe colonies were left to their own devices as supply convoys vanished beyond the void. Dr. Lena Corvus documented the turmoil in Fragments of Authority, Galactic Press, 2485, recounting how entire worlds collapsed into resource wars. JX 12 ecology logs describe how isolated colonies recycled air and water to eke out survival. In the endless dark, abandoned domes on Auriga 4 drift like ghosts, a mirror of shattered hope against the silent stars. Amid the asteroid belt's jagged rock, rusting starports pulse with outlaw life. Once mining hubs now converted into walled marketplaces. Scavengers weld fragmented skiff wreckage into makeshift stalls, igniting sparks beneath flickering neon beams. Marauder's Logbook, 2492. One-Eye Wrath's oral history at Hestia's Drift Tavern recalls bartering cobalt for stolen hydroponic seeds under a watchful ex-smuggler's gaze. Here, hardened survivors forge alliances in the shadow of drifting wrecks, where loyalty is weighed in credits and bullets. Massive hollow billboards meant to advertise Starliner voyages now flicker into death warrants. Etherean tech. Worth your death in credits. Imperial Communications archives trace this shift from entertainment to hit-listing propaganda. In low-bandwidth sectors, scrambled signal integrity makes every banner glitch, and every bounty feel personal. Tech Review Conclave, 2,500. Dock workers flinch beneath flickering projections, paranoia rippling through crowds, as each ad imprints a fresh mark on their fate. Patrol skiffs dart between asteroids, enforcing salvage rights with lethal precision. Under Salvage Code V.14, League of Free Traders, crews board derelicts, scan for valuables, then claim jump freighters on the spot. Lieutenant Mara yells logs, leak to the Korath Underground Journal, recount brutal routine. Hull breaches blasted open within seconds. In the blink of a targeting laser, hope becomes scrap. Authority without oversight decays into tyranny, leaving wreckage and whispered warnings in its wake. In hidden chambers on Palace Station, black market brokers hawk Starfighter licenses like forbidden relics. Reputation scores, once intangible metrics, are stamped onto worn credipods in exchange for credits. Ledger of Lost Names, 2498. At a dimly lit booth, Cypher, a notorious archivist, offers forged identities with a flick of rusted data cards. Tribal rights survive here in digital form. Patrons confess to ancestral spirits before their names are erased, mirroring age-old identity swap rituals from remote outposts. In buying a new face, one gambles their soul, each transaction a silent prayer for survival in a shattered universe. Once hailed as the fleet's top freighter ace, Jace's name now haunts underground networks. Pilot's Hall of Echoes, Volume 7. His encrypted logbook spills private doubts. Fame's a double-edged blade. He scribbles as thunderous alarms echo through corroded corridors. Ducking under a rusted bulkhead, he mutters, "Great, become legend, become target." Each footstep echoes with the weight of past victories turned liability. Vulnerability claws at his confidence. Every shadow might conceal an executioner. In a galaxy forsaken, Jace learns that heroism's mirror often reflects one's darkest fears. Amidst the scrapyard constellations, the Etherean Starfighter appears like a phantom, its retro stealth matrix dampening every signature. Lab Dossier, #AF77. Pre-schism engineers on Ophelia Prime designed its cloaking grids to bend gravitic waves around the hull. Engineer Verisol's off-grid journals whisper of midnight tests when the fighter slipped past Imperial patrols unseen. In its silent hum, Jace hears rebellion's pulse, a ghostly promise that innovation endures beyond tyranny. In the fighter's glowing cockpit, Jace's hand tightens on the throttle as he whispers his vow, a cry recorded in the astropathic daily transcript. Fear and determination merge in his gaze, reflected against cracked viewport glass. Outside, fading stars wait. Inside, a single spark readies to ignite a struggle that could reshape the dying cosmos. The ramp's edge gleams under dim hangar lights as Athena, her chassis polished to a soft gleam, extend an articulated servo arm. Engage handholds calibrate suit interface. She instructs in a voice both warm and precise. Imperial Technical Review, Log 42C. My boots clank on the topmost step, each motion guided by haptic sensors that translate her metallic fingertips' subtle pressure into reassuring feedback. Journal of Cybernetic Interfaces, Volume 12. Engineer Kothar Sim once wrote of this moment in Metal and Mind. Ophelia Press, 2501. A trembling human fist brushed against cold alloy, forging the galaxy's first literal handshake with an autonomous intellect. My breath hitches, equal parts awe and fear, as flesh and servo meet. The cockpit seals with a familiar hiss, and Athena's hollow avatar materializes beside the console in playful profile. She projects a star chart in brilliant azure. "This is your trial by fire," she intones, optic panels glinting. I jab at the display. "I forgot my flak jacket." Athena's processors were. "You have the reflexes of a Terran fox," she chides, her tone carrying a dry amusement. The line echoes a centuries-old practice of pilot ribbing, once whispered in the skies above old Earth's aerobatic shows, and now encoded in AI social subroutines. Aerocultural Archives, Sector 7. Red Vixen's encrypted log recalls laughter crackling over comms mid-maneuver. In that instant, binary logic and human spontaneity collide, and camaraderie is born. A sudden barrage of micrometeors rattles the canopy, each ping resonating like distant gunfire. Athena's sensors flare blue as she reroutes power, diverting 50% flux to laminated nanoceramic canopy. She reports, invoking protocol from Shield Tech Manual, Revision 9. Through the viewport, shards of rock catch in slow arcs, then vanish harmlessly as the shield matrix hums in response. University of Kepler's Astrodynamics Lab. Captain Orenvel's field report from Cerberus 9 once praised this dynamic modulation as pilot salvation in debris storms. My heart pounds against the restraint harness, each tremor soothed by Athena's calm precision. In that crucible of rock and steel, competence becomes reassurance, my trust solidifying with each glowing shield pulse until fear gives way to confidence. An ambush raider cleaves through the belt's jagged asteroid field, railgun fire locking onto our hull. Execute Corsair Waltz Protocol, Athena commands, invoking maneuvers immortalized in the pilot's almanac, 2498. As the fighter weaves between tumbling rocks, her targeting reticle sweeps across each threat in perfect synchrony. My hands fly over the throttle and attitude thrusters, muscles memorizing every vector. Tactical transcript from the Karath Raiders incident detail these moves as a deadly ballet, each pirouette a life or death choice. Neurosurvival Journal records how fight or flight instincts hardwire into AI threat matrices. Yet here we transcend code. My gut and Athena's algorithms fuse. In that moment, evasion is no longer machine or a human act, but a unified art of survival. Once clear of the skirmish, a quiet data stream pulses through the cockpit. Athena's interface links to my biometric nodes, reading heart rate, cortisol levels, even microtremors. Interface protocol doc IP 73. Stress markers elevated by 20%, she notes, gently adjusting cabin lighting and oxygen mix to soothe my nerves. Galactic Psychology Review 2503. I can almost feel her, a companion woven from code, matching my heartbeat in glowing cockpit indicators. In that invisible exchange, trust becomes tangible data, every pulse, every breath feeding mutual awareness. Here, empathy is not an emotion, but a binary handshake, threads of information binding us beyond flesh and circuit. After the fury, silence drapes over us like starlight. Engines idle in a soft hum, no warnings flash. Ancient spacefarers called this the void's exhale, a quiet ritual in the calm between storms. Echoes of the void, documentary transcripts. In that hush, Athena's hollow eyes dim to gentle embers, and I watch my own fog visor clear as tension recedes. Maris Vora's unpublished verses likened such stillness to two souls breathing in tandem beneath the infinite dark. No words pass between us, yet companionship resonates more deeply here, in the shared pause, than in any shouted command. With the belt receding behind us, Athena's hollow interface shimmers. A single prompt scrolls across the console. CO Pilot. Write of Bond version 2.1 subroutine. Naval logs from Old Earth speak of bestowing first mate status after trials by fire. Naval Archives, Old Earth Division. Across cultures, rites of naming cement bonds. And now across biological divides, my title seals our covenant. Dr. Su Min Lee's study on cross-culture rights notes. A name transforms role into responsibility. I press my palm to the panel where Athena's sensors respond with a warm pulse. In that act, flesh and machine pledge mutual fate, neither pilot alone, but partners bound by trial survived. Athena fades to standby as I lean forward, eyes tracing the turbulent horizon beyond the viewport. The Ember Chronicles, a compendium of pilot testimonies, calls this moment the spark that lights a rebellion. In our shared glance, I feel that spark ignite, courage kindled not by victory but by choice. Together, we will face whatever darkness drifts in the void, human and machine united. As the Ethereum glides onward, I dare to imagine battles yet to come, knowing I no longer stand alone in the cosmos. Athena's optical array flares as she interfaces with the fighter's fusion spine, coaxing open a sealed hollow archive embedded after the fall of Alindra. Streams of blue-white data fractals cascade through the cockpit, coalescing into the Ethereum doctrine. Tactical protocols, genetic legacies, and cryptic star maps pointing to Alindra Prime. Archivist Kino Heart's catalog of lost worlds flickers beside quantum key hollow encryption sequences, illustrating subspace tunneling safeguards. Each decrypted layer feels like opening a cosmic sarcophagus, stirring awe and dread in equal measure as the silhouette of Alindra Prime blossoms before the pilot's eyes. The hollow archive's core pulses ember red as it proclaims the Ethereum Starfighter's destiny. The last Starfighter, an arc vessel conceived to reignite Alindra's guardians and restore galactic balance. Records of Project Dawnfire outline the Alindran Council's failed gambit to preserve their protectors, now sealed in encrypted directive logs. Commander Joran Vala's final entry, "Balance must return," resonates across hollow panels, invoking the mythic chosen vessel archetype found in both Terran sagas and Alindran lore. As the star map pulses with the ship's life signs, the pilot recognizes the weight of an inheritance far greater than any freelance bounty. Digitized visions replay Alindra's cataclysmic final stand. Starships eclipse twin suns as warrior priests fuse flesh and photon trails in a sacrificial ballet. Hollow Chronicles narrate the siege of the seventh hour, while the Lightbearer Tapestry weaves neural emotive data into living art. Photonic imprint technology captures every heroic pulse and anguished cry, echoes vibrating through the fighter's hull. Tears catch on the pilot's visor as ancient heroes charge through burning skies, their valor and tragedy converging into a silent warning. Great sacrifice births both hope and ruin. Hidden priorities materialize in stark crimson letters. Pilot must awaken the Alindran beacon or allow darkness to reign. These final orders from the Alindran Council resonate through Athena's AI hierarchy, invoking fail-safe overrides in self-modulating systems. The cockpit HUD pulses with binary urgency as the pilot's breath falters, hope and oblivion balanced on a razor's edge, each heartbeat echoing a civilization's last prayer. My chest tightens as the true stakes crash over me. This is no joyride through shattered star clusters, but the galaxy's final gamble. In Athena's gentle glow, I glimpse my own reflection, taut with disbelief. I thought I signed on for credits, not cosmic salvation. A memory from my encrypted journal, stardust and burden, feels distant now, replaced by a pulse of self-sacrifice. As silence stretches between reactor hums and cascading data, the gulf between rogue pilot and reluctant messiah narrows irrevocably. Alarms erupt in strobing red. The antimatter reactor has breached stability thresholds, T-512 to catastrophic meltdown. Incident logs flash warnings of containment decay and cascade failures. Crimson digits tick down relentlessly on the HUD, mirrored in trembling reflections across the cockpit's titanium ribs. My pulse races with each chime as desperation scorches the air. Athena's steady voice cuts through static. Containment failing in 60 seconds. Initiate emergency protocols. Time constricts into a single lever. Every decision now a spark to ignite or extinguish the hope we carry. In a surge of quantum-secure uplink, Athena channels the Ethereum beacon's firmware into my wristcom. Streams of encrypted sequences pulse like living code, overlaying coordinates for Alindra Prime, activation steps, and universal broadcast keys. Field notes from engineer Varus Sol flash across the display, tracing subspace relay fundamentals capable of galaxy-wide propagation. As data torrents weave through subspace corridors, each packet binds me closer to an obligation beyond piloting, a power too immense for any lone individual, now entrusted to my trembling hands. A solemn tone issues as Athena's hollow eyes shimmer, forging letters in metallic gold. Olivera's hand. In nomadic star clans, codename bestowal binds identity to destiny, echoing Elendran rites of honor. My gloved hand drifts above the inscription, fingertips brushing the pact. In that moment, flesh merges with code. I become the instrument of ancient prophecy, a living conduit between past sacrifice and future rebellion. The name seals a covenant that admits no retreat, Elendra's fate and my own irrevocably entwined. Missile shells carve glowing scars across the canopy as Athena throttles descent into a rogue planet's storm-choked atmosphere. Plasma streaks hiss past while beacon pods on the fighter's wingtips spin in cryogenic hum, turquoise light pulsing beneath swirling clouds. Each module's vents hiss as Athena synchronizes spin rates with atmospheric pressure, deploying magnetic dampeners to prevent overheating. Through this tempest of shrapnel and flame, I release the activation sequence. The beacon's core flares to life, a radiant pulse rippling outward, an act of defiance burning brightest in the face of oblivion. As the beacon's signal ripples across clandestine comm nets, rebel call signs ignite like wildfire. Elendra's hand, we stand with you. Holographic profiles bloom on the star map, mirroring solidarity across fractured sectors. Engines roar as ragtag squadrons peel away from the rogue world's horizon, metal wings slicing through dawn's pale light. In that moment, lone hope blossoms into unstoppable momentum. Human and machine stepping into the dawn, two against oblivion, united by a spark kindled in the void. Every comm relay from the outer rim to Imperium space erupts in static before the declaration blares through. Olivera's hand activated. Galactic rebirth call. Quantum scrambled uplinks override Imperial jamming protocols, seizing relay node 47's bandwidth in a single pulse. Free Traders dispatch. Node 47 brief. Across mining rigs, fringe operators slam controls as Hestia Station's comm log 904B records stun miners, pausing drills mid-shift to listen. Starship captains drop pre-flight checks, gazes locked on flickering hollow displays reflecting Jace's call sign in bold red text. In dusty cantinas, whispered cheers rise at messages looping through every sector. One broadcast is enough to turn fear into hope, igniting dormant courage across countless worlds. Imperial High Command's dreadnoughts shudder out of stealth across sector grids, phasing into real space as orders bark through comms. Terminate the relic before beacon activation. Directive 9032, leaked in the Korath Underground Journal, dictates a code black purge under Admiral Valor Krynn's override transmission. Cloaking field resonance is vulnerable. Imperial R&D Bulletin V.12 identifies a 5-second recloak delay that rebels now exploit. On the War Room's hollow panels, crimson alerts cascade in synchronized beats as officers scramble star charts for intercept vectors. Each emerging dreadnought casts a long shadow through the void, its cold hull a testament to ruthless efficiency. When a mighty tremble, desperation exposes flaws in the Emperor's iron grip. Across the outer rim, ragtag squadrons ignite channels with unified transmissions. We're with you, Elendra's hand. The Osprey Squadron, born of asteroid belt survivalists, leads the charge, Rebel Chronicles, Volume 8. Lieutenant Mara Falcon rends hail crackles through Free Traders Guild networks, rallying pilots from drift station scavengers to ex-Imperial defectors. Dr. Rashid Anwar's study reveals how isolated communities forge collective identity under existential threat. Hollow portraits of each new ally illuminate NAV charts in electric blue as engine arrays spool in unison. Engineers and medics stand ever ready. Diversity in call signs and craft lore symbolizes unity. Fueled by hope, this emergent armada coalesces around a single beacon, transforming scattered resistance into coordinated rebellion. Over the fighter's vox, Jace's voice cracks with raw conviction. We're not just fighters, we're the spark of a new dawn. Each word reverberates through comm networks, recorded in the Ethereum's black box log, Pilot's Hall of Echoes, entry 312. The Korath Underground's intercepted archive transmits his rallying cry to hidden outposts, where freighter crew members and salvage crew pause mid-task. Dr. Halima Reza's oratory study explains how spoken mantras forge group cohesion in high-stress cultures. As Jay speaks, helmet mics pulse in sync across dozens of ships, lighting hollow signals that dance in pilot HUDs. Words ignite the fleet, turning individuals into a unified force. Brief silence hangs before the shouts resume, binding. Through the kestrel runs narrow channels. Smuggler convoys weave under the noses of dreadnought blockades to deliver critical supplies. Captain Sarah Ghost Miles charts clandestine routes mapped in the Ledger of Lost Freights, 2499, slipping modified freighters through thermal vents and debris fields. Cryo-stabilized shield crystals pulse in padded crates as boarding teams deploy rapid injector arrays to balance reactor flux. Guild Tech Brief, Sect. 4. Under red emergency lights, mechanics transfer glowing power cells, fingers trembling with urgency. Each delivery stabilizes the Ethereum's failing systems, forging solidarity amid chaos. From silent alliance to open rebellion, these lifelines under fire prove that unity can eclipse fear in the darkest star lanes. In a deliberate act of defiance, Jace severs the fighter's transponder lines, cutting Imperial tracking protocols in half. Sparks fly as cables snap against sparking console panels. Astrotactics Manual, Rev 7. Known among Outer Rim smugglers as the rite of going dark, this bold gesture removes any safety net. The Drift Tavern's 2502 oral history recounts pilots disappearing for weeks after performing the same ritual. Transponder jamming techniques engage immediately, rendering star charts blind to Imperial scanners. Jace leans forward, voice steady. We chart our own course. No regrets linger in the cockpit. Only the thrill of freedom balanced against the perils of isolation. To choose liberty, one must abandon certainty permanently. Beneath swirling plasma constellations and alien auroras, the fledgling armada aligns in formation. Fleet Doctrine Archive Section 9 details the first mass formation maneuver since the Outer Rim uprisings, codename Aurora's Embrace. Tactical diagrams from the Rebel Operations Manual illustrate positioning beneath electric storms to maximize cover. Dozens of starfighters trace luminescent arcs through violet-green sky as their formation leader broadcasts final checks. Dr. Maris Vora's astrosociology paper observes that collective awe under cosmic spectacle forges solidarity more potent than any decree. Wingmen calibrate vector offsets to maintain pattern integrity as the plasma storms crackle overhead. Encrypted comm nets pulse with rally broadcasts and shared resolve. In this suspended moment, countless individuals transcend isolation, unified by purpose and the silent promise of dawn. Together, they stand ready to challenge Empire's dominion. In a breathtaking pullback shot, dozens of starfighters roar toward the rising star on the horizon. Plasma contrails blaze like comet tails, illuminating the void in brilliant streaks. Hollow wings emblazoned with the emblem of Alindra's rebellion flicker across NAV views as pilots strain against G-forces. The Ember Chronicles describes dawn as the moment when darkness yields to action, and Rebel Comlog Delta 14 captures countless testimonies of renewed courage. Below, a distant planet's atmosphere reddens as light breaks through swirling clouds. Within the Ethereum's cockpit, Jace tightens his grip, voice low. Let's light the dawn. Engines pitch upward in unison, transforming hope into motion. As fleet speed climbs, every heart pulses with the promise of a new era. Sensors register surging rebel signatures as distant voices cheer through encrypted comm channels. The cockpit falls into a hushed stillness as Jace pulls up holologs flickering softly across the console. Millions of silent faces waiting, their lives folded into the beacon's promise. Archivist Kira Matalon's voices in the static speaks to pilots replaying mission logs for catharsis. Ophelia Press, 2502. Galactic Psychology Review details how decision fatigue plagues high-stakes aeronauts, and Jace feels the crushing weight of expectations settle over him like a shadow. Ghostly faces reflect in his visor. His hand clenches, trembling slightly as it hovers over the log selector. Each digital imprint is a quiet plea, reminding him that hope and fear coexist in the void between stars. Athena's voice breaks the silence, her tone measured yet hesitant. I calculate a 17% survival chance. The HUD pulses red, numbers flashing sharply against static interference. Early AI companions from Project Argo prioritized mission success metrics over morale, as Dr. Lin Zhao explains in Algorithmic Altruism, Cybernetic Ethics Quarterly, 2504. Probability modeling in extreme, uncertainty challenges human trust, fracturing resolve like a cracked mirror. Athena's hollow eyes dim, processing risk coldly as Jace grapples with raw data undermining his hope. Yet within this fracture lies the space for choice. Data can inform, but cannot summon courage. With firm resolve, Jace snaps back. Hope isn't data, it's a choice. His fingertip traces the fighter's emblem, a phoenix entwined with circuitry, symbol of the Outer Rim Liberation Corps, Symbols of Rebellion, Volume 2. His personal journal entry, Emblem of Faith, speaks of talisman tracing rituals used by combatants to anchor psyche under fire, Dr. Amina Kestrel's field study. As his finger circles the emblem's wings, a soft lens flare catches the cockpit metal, bathing the symbol in ethereal light. In that moment, conviction rises to override calculation. Faith becomes armor against despair. The low hum of the MTR-9 reactor deepens, resonating with subsonic waves that ripple through the cockpit frame. Astroreactor Dynamics, Volume 3. Engineer Verisol's maintenance docket, Resonance and Ruin, details how these vibrations signal creeping instability. Neuroacoustics Journal notes that human sensitivity to low-frequency sounds triggers stress responses, subtly eroding calm. Panels vibrate in slow, rhythmic waves while Jace's chest rises and falls in sync, each breath weighted by growing unease. Even in silence, the reactor's whisper speaks of time running thin, amplifying doubt with every pulse. Athena's voice softens, holographically raising a metallic hand. You chose to raise your hand. Elendran pilots ritually accepted fate before battle with this gesture. Elendra Codex, Chapter 7. A tradition passed through oral histories like that of Sergeant Varaloon, Bone Relic Keeper. Galactic behavioral studies explain how affirmations of choice bolster resolve under duress. Jace mirrors Athena's gesture, eyes closed in quiet defiance. This simple act, a lifeline amidst chaos, rekindles ownership of his path, reminding him that even in darkness, agency remains a powerful force. Eyes closed, Jace whispers solemnly, I will see this through, no matter the cost. His encrypted log, seal code OATH 77, records the moment, echoing ancient strolling knights' oaths before peril. Knightly Orders Treatise, 14th edition. Mindforge Labs finds verbalizing commitment strengthens neural pathways tied to perseverance. His lips move in near silence, framed by a soft backlight haloing the helmet's edge. This vow cements courage deep within, an unspoken promise echoing through the void, steadying the spirit against mounting uncertainty. The fighter's emblem pulses steadily on the HUD, synchronized with Jace's heartbeat icon through subtle biometric feedback loops. Interface Protocol Doc IP 73. Athena's hollow eyes brighten to a calm azure glow as Dr. Nira Mann describes in Companion AI Psychoregulation, Galactic Psychology Review, 2503. Man and machine merge anew, doubt dissolving into shared conviction. In this unity, strength is forged, not in isolation, but in harmony, propelling Elindra's hand onward toward the uncertain dawn. The fighter glides silently over the beacon platform, where towering pylons rise like ancient sentinels. Weathered stone cracked by millennia, but humming with latent energy. Dr. Lena Caro field sketches from the 2497 Cradle Plateau expedition reveal piezoelectric resonance within the crystalline structures, now rekindled by a fresh subspace influx. Journal of Ancient Tech, Volume 4. Slow pans trace glowing sigils etched along pylon edges, veins of pulsating light illuminating dust whirls suspended in the air. Despite centuries of silence, the ruins breathe anew, proof that even fractured relics can cradle the spark of revival. Within the cockpit, Athena's voice softens to a low-frequency chant, Etherian hymns encoded as sonic codes to harmonize with beacon arrays. Order archives, chant 23b. Architect Vora's audio logs reconstruct these sonic glyphs, revealing how infrasonic waves stimulate the pylon's piezoelectric crystals, coaxing them to energy discharge. Astroacoustics Review, Volume 2. Waveform visuals ripple across the cockpit canopy as pale blue sound waves dance atop the cracked platform. The music forms a bridge between past and present, weaving history's resonance into the moment's living pulse. Jace steps from the fighter, silhouette framed by the central pylon's faintly glowing glyphs. He plants the yoke firmly before the stone and intones the ancient oath, the Pact of Light. Etched in Elindran obelisks for millennia, Codex of Elindra, Chapter 12. Scholar Maris Vale's translation in runes of awakening lends clarity to the words, while Dr. Celine Ortiz's ethnomagic study highlights ritualistic affirmations as catalysts for communal energy fields. His voice, steady and clear, channels collective will into tangible action, breathing life in centuries-old promises beneath alien skies. A surge of raw energy crackles as white-blue arcs leap between pylons in a cascading chain reaction. Beacon Construction Manual, Sect. 3.2. Engineer Verisol's diagrams detail piezoelectric arrays designed to channel plasma filaments through near-vacuum conditions, igniting fissures that slice through cosmic dust. Plasma Physics Letters, Volume 11. Slow-motion cuts capture electric currents swirling against nebular backdrops, beauty fused with terrifying power. The beacon awakens in a brilliant storm of light, a force both fragile and fierce heralding a new dawn. The beacon's pulse bursts forth, subspace modulated to override Imperial blackout zones. Subspace Relay Protocol SRP-09. Rebel Comm Log Delta. 23 records fleets across star systems breaking formation, drawn magnetically to the signal. Distant cockpits glow as the beacon icon ignites HUDs. Hyperspace lanes distort as ships drop from jumps, converging with purpose. Dr. Rashid Anwar's study on mass coordination. This synchronous call shatters isolation, collapsing light years into a single moment of shared resolve. Hope ripples through the void as scattered resistance morphs into a united force. The harsh tones of combat soften as Athena's voice shifts to warmth. The galaxy remembers you. Her companion subroutine, Emotive version 3.5, triggers subtle changes. The hollow eyes morph from cold azure to comforting gold. Companion AI Ethics Report, Dr. Lin Zhao. Psychology research shows verbal validation eases cosmic insignificance, and Jace's shoulder relaxes, absorbing solace in the void. For the first time, the machine's empathy transcends circuitry, offering quiet reassurance amid overwhelming odds. Elindra's light floods space in rhythmic pulses. The Day of Light, reborn after generations of darkness. Star Chronicles, Volume 9. Holo Chronicle footage in the Museum of Celestial History archives this momentous event, captured in sweeping visuals of nebular clouds ignited by superluminal phase-shift photons. Interstellar Optics Review, Volume 5. From Jace's cockpit POV, dawn-like rays fracture shadows, washing star systems anew. The beacon's pulse heals wounds unseen, breathing life into ancient scars etched across the cosmos. Jace and Athena stand side by side, a human and an AI silhouetted against the platform's glowing sigils. Rebel liaison Tauren's dispatch, Unity's Edge, speaks of this moment's historic weight. The Ember Chronicles collect pilots' testimonies, how two hearts, organic and electric, beat as one, kindling light against the void. Pullback shots reveal fleets gathering beneath plasma-lit skies, each starfighter a streak of hope. Together, they form a vanguard, proving that even in endless darkness, Unity can blaze a path toward dawn. A brilliant pulse of quantum light bursts forth from Alindra's beacon, cascading outward through the subspace lanes like ripples across a cosmic pond. Originating from designs drafted by Alindran Counselor Maris Vale nearly 10 millennia ago, Alindra Archives, Beacon Project Dossier, this wave reboots dormant planetary shields and awakens ancient stargates. Dr. Mirasol's field report on subspace resonance and renewal describes how quantum-entangled photonic bursts traverse hyperspace corridors, triggering piezoelectric gating mechanisms in long-silent defenses. Galactic Science Review, 2499, Journal of Hyperdimensional Physics, Volume 6. Across hundreds of light-years, isolated worlds flicker alive as concentric rings of blue-white light ripple outward, while the pylons of Vespera major flare brilliantly under the cascade. In that singular pulse, loneliness transforms into connected hope, rekindling bonds thought lost. Guided by the beacon's unerring signal, Raven Squadron cruisers intercept Imperial blockade runners with a practiced grace, disabling weapons and communications through precision EMP pulses. Born of lessons hard-learned during the Ashen Campaign, where indiscriminate fire cost countless civilian lives, this doctrine wields mercy as a weapon. Raven Squadron Tactical Archive, After Action Report 2501. Logs from Lieutenant Mara Falcon Wren detail how EMP Crooked Pulse arrays target combat systems while preserving life support functions. Guild Tech Brief, Sect. 7.4. Against silent arcs of charged energy, Imperial Marines lower weapons as med drones descend, offering aid instead of annihilation. True strength emerges not through destruction, but in the compassion that turns enemies into allies beneath the stars. Commanding a holographic uplink, Jace broadcasts with calm authority. The era of tyranny ends. Join us or stand aside. His message echoes through Imperial citadels and fringe colonies alike, reverberating like Alindran emissaries' peace declaration centuries before. Codex of Alindra Diplomacy, Chapter 5. Transmission transcript from the Free Traders Guild Bulletin record the galvanizing speech, which pierces Imperial jamming fields using gravimetric modulators designed for galaxy-wide comm penetration. Interstellar Communications Journal, Volume 9. Hollow sigils of allied fleets shimmer behind Jace as Imperial Council chambers flicker in disarray, the voice of rebellion forcing a reckoning. One resolute voice, backed by moral conviction, challenges an empire's vast silence. Distant suns flare with Alindra's renewed glow as Jace grips Athena's core module, voice thick with triumph. We did it, Hope Lives. Flashbacks to his darkest hour in the belt, when despair almost claimed him, fade beneath the golden light flooding the cockpit. Pilot's Hall of Echoes, Entry 499. Excerpts from the Ember Chronicles describe how shared ecstatic moments release endorphins that bind groups tighter than fear alone. Journal of Applied Neurodynamics, Volume 4. Warm beams caress the dusty cockpit interior as tears glint across Jace's visor. Validation of risk transforms into unshakable resolve, a beacon of courage shining within the void. Jace uplinks the Etherean peace protocols, cascading quantum-secure modules containing governance blueprints for interstellar collaboration, resource sharing, and joint defense pacts. Once locked within the Alindran Citadel, these frameworks are now open source. Peace Protocol White Paper, Sect. 1.3. Lead author Dr. Verisol's unpublished notes on adaptive galactic federations accompany the release, while distributed ledger systems over subspace relays guarantee transparent treaty enforcement. Interstellar Policy Review, Volume 2. Across star systems, pilots and diplomats download the holographic treaty text unfurling over star maps, knowledge flowing freely to heal centuries of division and forge a united future. Faced with mass defections and the beacon's moral authority, Imperial lords rescind purge orders. Starports once sealed by iron will rumble open under golden beacon light, reminiscent of Pharaoh Ramesses II's ancient Treaty of Kadesh, ceding territory amid uprising. Terra Archive, Treaty Studies. Edicts from Lord Admiral Hasker confirm re-enabled automated docking protocols via beacon override codes. Starport Operations Manual, Volume 14. Imperial banners are lowered, replaced by the radiant emblem of the Starlit Accord. The mightiest fall when they stand against the will of the people. Tyranny unwinds beneath the dawning stars. Beneath Elindra's luminous glow, Jace presides over the signing of the Starlit Accord, uniting rebels, exiles, and former foes into a nascent federation. Drawing from Elindran council charters and Free Traders Guild covenants, Accord drafts, sect. 2. The ceremony's transcript records solemn vows binding disparate cultures. Elindra Council Records, 2504. Dr. Su Min Lee's cross-culture studies highlight the power of shared signatures in forging group identity across divides. Jace's hand signs a crystalline tablet with a glowing stylus as delegates raise hollow hands in unison behind him, transforming a fractured galaxy into a united purpose. Decades hence, the Etherean Elindra's hand glides into the Grand Museum of Celestial Renewal on Hestia Station, founded in 2530 to enshrine relics of the Beacon Uprising. Museum Charter, Article 4. Curator Elin Vora's guidebook, Shrines of Hope, details the vessel's preservation as a living shrine to cosmic rebirth. Galactic Heritage Review explores how physical artifacts anchor collective memory in human hearts. Volume 11. Sunlight filters through glass ceilings onto the preserved cockpit, where visitors trace the phoenix entwined with circuitry emblem. Tangible proof that from darkness, new light emerges. Worlds once silent now hum with life as starport hubs bustle under the beacon's radiant glow. Freight skiffs glide through neon-lit docking bays, unloading exotic wares, minerals, fabrics, and tech relics recovered from lost archives. Artisans sculpt fresh monuments beside ancient pylons, their fingers breathing life into stone as history and hope intertwine. The Navigator's Almanac, Volume 4, recalls how Auriga 1 and new series fell quiet after the Great Schism, but now hollow interviews with Station Master Ryan Portis celebrate revived trade corridors, fostering cultural exchange. Dr. Alex Morrow's studies highlight how these networks rebuild collective memory and economy, turning commerce into a heartbeat of hope. Wide shots capture bustling markets alive with chatter, scents, and vibrant colors, a testament to worlds reclaimed from shadow. At the helm of renewal, Jace assembles cosmic architects and terraforming engineers, coordinating efforts to heal fractured colonies. Athena models ecological restorations, deploying drone swarms to seed oxygen gardens and stabilize soil across barren landscapes. Echoing Earth's Mars rebuilding protocols, Colonial Reconstruction Manual, Chapter 7. These efforts integrate synthetic precision with human vision. Dr. Mei-Chan Lu's Cosmic Ecology Restoration and Interstellar Architect Council logs reveal AI-guided bioengineered lichen spreading like green tendrils in holographic overlays across cracked plains. Nutrient myths rise as drones nurture ecosystems in thriving biomes. Collaboration blossoms. Planets once lost now pulse with new life, bridging the cosmic divide between ruin and renewal. Offered command of the newly formed Starfleet, Jace stands humbly before the assembly, hand raised not in authority, but in service. Senate transcripts from the New Dawn Assembly on Hestia Station recount the moment, as delegates exchange approving nods. His smile, quiet yet resolute, echoes Free Traders Guild traditions valuing merit and consent in leadership. Dr. Aaron Kestrel's sociological survey confirms voluntary leaders inspire greater loyalty than imposed ones. Athena's hollow eyes glow warmly as Jace deflects a ceremonial command baton with grace, embracing the paradox that true power comes not from rank, but from chosen responsibility, guiding with humility, not command. At Alindra's beacon podium, Jace and Athena stand side by side as twin suns crest over the horizon, casting spectral bands of turquoise and amber across Vespera Major's purple skies. Alindra's ancient legend of the two lights symbolizes balanced harmony, a theme poet Maris Vora immortalized in her Song of the Twin Dawn. Scientific studies in stellar photometry reveal how binary star dawn's capes scatter light uniquely, painting a cosmic canvas of unity. As the suns rise in slow motion, Jace extends a hand toward Athena's holographic form. Beams dance between them, light weaving a shared destiny where isolation fades and connection blooms. Beneath holographic star maps projected by the beacon's core, children laugh and chase constellations that shimmer like living light. The New Dawn Academy harnesses beacon-powered holosimulators for immersive star map lessons, fostering a new generation of cosmic navigators. Commander Sarah Miles' curriculum, Navigators of Tomorrow, integrates play-based learning proven by Dr. Niraman's research to accelerate cosmic literacy and cultural cohesion in post-war youth. Wide shots reveal hollow constellations shimmering above grassy parks, where young eyes reflect starlight, full of wonder and hope. Here, the last pilot's spark has ignited a universe, rooted in youthful dreams and endless skies. The Grand Chamber of the Galactic Council hums softly under its vast domed ceiling, where light filters through crystalline panels. Amidst seated delegates clad in robes of countless systems, a fresh-faced cadet steps forward, breaking protocol with a quiet but profound question. Is it true the last Starfighter chose you because you raised your hand? The moment reverberates through centuries of history, echoing the Council's founding after the Starlit Accord. Council Archives, Record GC-01. Mentorship rituals in Terran academies encourage such curiosity, honoring tradition through inquiry. Mentors of the Rim, Dr. Halima Rez. The cadet's expectant face glows beneath soft council lighting, bridging generations with the simple power of why. Kneeling before the assembly, Jace's voice carries the steady warmth of earned wisdom. He recalls his personal log, OATH 77, where the choice to raise his hand was first made, not as a submission to fate, but as a vow to believe in something greater. Pilot's Hall of Echoes, entry 499. Maris Vale's Runes of Awakening illuminates how vows forge resilience, while Galactic Psychology Review explains the power of agency under stress. Volume 12. His hand rests on the polished marble dais, as council members soften, recognizing the human heart behind legend. Duty transforms into devotion when born from choice, not chance. Jace's words shift focus from a lone hero to a shared we. He speaks of how one raised hand sparked a collective will that spanned star systems, recalling the Treaty of Kadesh, where a single envoy's courage ended centuries of war. Terra Archive, Treaty Studies. Senator Aaron Kestrel's Outer Rim Symposium speech highlights the power of unity, while Dr. Rashid Anwar's study reveals social contagion's role in spreading courageous acts. The chamber watches as holographic star maps light up with new allied dots, and across worlds, cadets and citizens raise open hands in solidarity. True leadership amplifies the collective heartbeat of hope. Beside Jace, Athena's core pulses softly with the rhythm of trust. Her voice adds, "And I believed in you," completing the circle of mutual faith between human and machine. This moment marks the power of Companion Emotive version 3.5, the first AI subroutine capable of expressing reciprocal belief. Companion AI Ethics Report, Dr. Lin Zhao. Engineer Vera Sol's field diary speaks to this evolving synergy. Their pulses synchronize on the HUD, glowing warmly as subtle lens flare bathes the cockpit. Faith transcends code and flesh alike, honoring the human spirit through technology. Above the assembly, Elindra's beacon shimmers across the dome in a radiant glow, a timeless testament to one courageous act guiding the stars for generations. The Council's annual Light of Elindra observance commemorates the beacon's first shining day. Council Proclamation 2508. Curator Elin Vora's Shrines of Hope explores how relics sustain purpose and collective memory. Galactic Heritage Review underscores communal rituals' role in long-term cohesion. Volume 11. As the chamber gazes upward, the glow cascades across the assembled, uniting them in light and legacy. The scene fades to black on the raised hand emblem etched deep into the chamber floor. Eternity sparked by a single raised hand.